This short video is going to show you how to find a banner image for your ePortfolio using a website called Unsplash, and then it's going to show you how to add that banner image to the top of your ePortfolio. As you can see here, we have an ePortfolio for a student who used the Create from Scratch template to start their ePortfolio, and so they have just a very basic grayscale design right now. The banner image for your ePortfolio is going to go in the header section, which is the dark gray space at the top of the screen here. You'll see that this particular template has also added a text box where you can add a title for the ePortfolio. In order to find a picture for our banner image, we're going to be using a resource on the Get Help guide. If you're following along with this video, you can go ahead and open up a second tab in your browser now and head to depal.digication.com/gethelp. The Get Help guide is your online resource for all Digication support, and the homepage has several quick links that are going to be useful as you're designing your ePortfolio. The quick link that we're going to be using to find a banner image for our ePortfolio is called Unsplash, and it's the first one on the list here. Unsplash is a collection of free, high-quality images that you can use for any purpose. I'm going to search Unsplash now for a banner image for my ePortfolio. As I'm searching for an image for my banner, I'm going to keep in mind that I will eventually be cropping this image to be short and wide because it's going to be the banner at the top of the page. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at the composition of the images you're scrolling through. Select one that you'll be able to crop to be that banner shape in just a little bit. Once you've selected an image, you can download it to your computer by selecting the Download Free button in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And then once you have that image downloaded, you can head back to your ePortfolio. Now, as I said a moment ago, we are going to be adding the banner image to the header section of the portfolio, which is this dark gray space at the top of the screen here. In order to make changes to our header section, we're first going to unlock the section by selecting this lock icon. And once you do so, a gear icon is going to appear underneath it. This is going to open a design menu for you. Anytime you see one of these icons anywhere in your ePortfolio, it will open a design menu that lets you change how that element of the portfolio looks. You'll see in the menu that opened on the left-hand side of the screen here that right now my header section is just a dark gray color. We actually have two different places where we can adjust the background of this section. We have a top layer background, which is dark gray, and we have a bottom layer background, which is also dark gray. I'm going to illustrate the difference between these two spaces for you here by turning my top layer background bright red. You'll see that once I do that, the top layer background of your ePortfolio is actually just the middle section of the portfolio, and the bottom layer background extends all the way to the edges of the page. For the purposes of today's video, I'm going to be uploading my banner image to the bottom layer background. In order to do that, I'll just select Image here under Bottom Layer Background, and then I'll upload my file. Now, once I have my file added here, before I hit upload, we are going to crop this image to be the shape of a banner. This is a really big photo, and to have the entire thing at the top of my ePortfolio, it's going to be really tall and confusing for a viewer to have to scroll and scroll and scroll past this big image to get to my content, so I'm going to crop it to be just a little bit shorter. The crop tool is over here in the upper left-hand corner, and when you select it, it puts this box around your image that you can click and drag in order to select the portion of it that you'd like to crop. Once you have that selected, you can select Save in the lower right-hand corner, and it will show you a preview of the cropped image. If you like it, you can select Upload, or if you'd like to redo it, you can select Reset over here on the left. I'm going to select Upload, and you'll see that now that image has been added to the bottom layer background of my portfolio. However, we cannot see much of this image yet, and so I'm going to make a couple of additional tweaks in order to have it show up a little more nicely. The most obvious thing we've got going on here is that the top layer background is in the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn that top layer background transparent, simply by opening this design menu again, heading to top layer background, and where it has the color and the color opacity, I'll be turning the color opacity from 100% down to 0%. This will make the top layer background entirely transparent and makes it easier to see that banner image underneath. Now, as you can see, I'm still not able to see much of the image that I uploaded. And so the next thing that we can do is actually make a little bit more space at the top of the screen here by moving this navigation bar down on the page a little bit. In order to move that navigation bar, you're going to make sure your header section is unlocked. Once you do that, you're going to hover your mouse over the navigation bar so that you get the editing buttons over here on the right-hand side. The button that we need for moving this navigation bar is the Move tool, which is the 4-point arrow at the bottom of the buttons. When we select that, it turns blue. And now when I put my mouse back inside my navigation bar, it has turned into that Move icon. Now all I have to do is click and drag down in order to move my navigation bar down the page. Now you'll see that this has gone a long way towards making this image display a little bit better. However, the image that I selected for this banner was really, really large, and it's getting cut off over here on the right-hand side of the screen. The entire image still isn't showing. So if you're experiencing something similar, there's one final tweak you can make in order to have the entire image display rather than just a portion of it. In order to make this change, you're going to unlock your header section and open your design menu one more time. Scroll down to where you uploaded the image under your bottom layer background. And there are these two toggle buttons under here that say Fixed and Repeat. If you flip both of these buttons on and then flip them both back off, the image is going to display in full and you'll be able to see the entire image that you cropped and uploaded originally. Now, the final thing that I'm going to do to complete this banner at the top of my ePortfolio is I am going to add a title to the text box that has been provided for me here. In order to edit this text box or edit anything in your header section, as always, you need to unlock it first. And once you do so, you'll be able to come over and make changes to this text box or any other element that you may happen to have up in the header section of your ePortfolio. All right, with that, we have a banner image for this ePortfolio that looks a lot nicer than that dark gray header section that we began with. And you can see how adding a banner image to the portfolio also helps you to establish a visual theme that might reinforce the elements that you're writing about in the body of the portfolio. The next step in styling this ePortfolio is going to be to create a color scheme based on the banner image that we've selected. And for more information on that, you can check out the next video in this series.